our first West End performer. Not only has she played the title role of Matilda in Matilda the Musical in the West End, but she's also now a flipping movie star. That's right. Last year in 2020, she played the lead role of Captain Holly Short in Disney's Artemis Fowl, directed by Kenneth Branagh and starring along the likes of Colin Farrell, Josh Gad, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, Dame Judi Dench. Goddess. Let's meet her. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you to West End star Lara McDonnell. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, Lara, it's so lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you too, even though it's virtually, but I'll take what I can get.
I know, exactly. Yeah, you look gorgeous. I love that dress.
Thank you very much.
Where do we find you this evening? Where are you?
I'm in my bedroom in Dublin.
In Dublin.
Very glitz and glam.
Now, I must admit, you'll never guess, I've never been to Ireland.
Ollie.
I know. I'm so sorry. I will come and visit though. I've got somewhere to visit now.
Yeah, exactly. See?
Now, we were saying that I want to get everyone to share their story. So can you share with us what it was like and when you found out that you were going to be playing Matilda in Matilda the Musical?
Oh my goodness. So I was 10 when I first started auditioning for Matilda, and I had never done anything like properly before. I'd never acted professionally before, but I would go to a little like Saturday drama class, and my music teacher and my drama teacher said to my parents one day, an audition has come through the agency for Matilda the Musical and we think Lara should go for it. My parents were shocked, first of all, because they were like, Lara sings? Can she sing? Like, yeah. And so they signed me up for the auditions without telling me. And then about a week before, they were like, oh, by the way, you've been accepted to audition for Matilda and Matilda the Musical, so learn a song and a monologue and off we go. And I could not believe it, like even the fact that I was auditioning, because Matilda had always been my favourite show, always, ever since I was little. And I think that was when I knew that I wanted to act, like that was what I wanted to do. Was I saw the show when I was 9 and I said to my mum on the way out, I said, that's what I want to do. And my mum said, don't be ridiculous. And I still hold her to that. So I went to the audition and my mum and I were so excited to just be in London together, and every time that we would go over, we would book to see a West End show because we were convinced that this is the last time we're ever going to be in London together. We've got to take advantage of it. We're never going to be here again. And that happened again and again and again and again until I got to the final round, which was absolutely insane for that to happen at all. And then went home and we were told to wait. And honestly, I did not expect it at all. I just thought, like, at the ripe old age of now 11, like, it was a great experience. I got to meet some amazing people and I got to get to the final of one of my favourite characters ever and one of my favourite musicals ever. And so I kind of put it to the back of my mind of like, that was an amazing experience, but you know, end of, it was great. And then I come out of school one day and I get in the car and my mum stops the car and she told me that we were going to be moving to London because I'd gotten the part. And I just burst into tears like you. I just absolutely lost the plot, burst into tears, couldn't hold myself together. And yeah, I mean, it was just the most surreal moment ever. And even when we were moving over there and even performing, it was still so surreal because this was my first ever real job and it got to be one of my dream roles. So yeah, I'm pretty emotional experience, the same as you.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. I love that story. I love that. And the connection, just for the audience, is you and I and Laura Tyra were in the show from 2015, weren't we? Yeah.
We were.
And then the connection with Richard is then you left in 2016, didn't you?
I did. I had like my closing night on the 19th of March in 2016 after like a year of performing. And, you know, I went back home and, you know, went back to school, went back to normal. And in December, like late December, I think it was the 22nd or 23rd, my mum got a phone call from a casting director who casts Matilda, and my mum was very confused at her calling because she was like, "You got the wrong. Lara's older now. She's gone." And my mum was told that all the Matildas were sick, all four of them, and they had no one to go on for the Christmas shows. And would I be able to come back and do the Christmas shows? And so I came home from like my last day of school. My mum didn't say anything. And she sat me down. She went, "So they want you to go back for a couple of nights." And I got very emotional. And my mum says she remembers being like, "Oh my God, she doesn't want to do it, okay?" I went, "Oh my God, I've dreamed of this for so long." And so next day, flew back over to London and went on that night at 7 after 10 months of not being in the show. And that's how I met Richard, from my few nights at Christmas time.
Oh, I remember it so clearly because Laura and Richard and I were still in the show, and obviously we hadn't seen you for 10 months, so it was a lovely reunion. But yes, suddenly all the Matildas were just dropping like flies. And during the show, and it was Christmas, and we were like, what are we going to do? And we did like a concert version where Anna Fox, who was our director at the time, who was amazing, wrote this like narration for the show, and we sort of managed to do a little bit without Matilda. And then they said, Lara's coming back, they're flying her back from Ireland. So we were so excited. And you were back for a few shows, weren't you?
Yeah, it was. It was the most surreal experience, and the fact that I could remember it all, I can't tell if that's really impressive or just a little bit sad, but it was. And especially getting to see everyone again, because I think every Matilda that I've known has always said, "Oh, if I could just do one more show." Not that the last show was bad, not that the whole time was bad, it's just that one last show. And the fact that I got to do that is mind-boggling to me. I'm so lucky.
Yeah, it's amazing. And we had so much fun. We had so much fun. Right, we've got a couple of questions for you. So the first question is still about Matilda. And obviously, as the audience have heard, you were rather young when you joined the cast. What was it like for you to, I don't know, have the pressure of playing that lead role and being in the West End at such a young age?
Personally, for me, I didn't feel any kind of intense pressure. I think I was just so genuinely glad to be there that I would have done absolutely anything. They could have been like, "We need to throw you out a window," and I would have been like, "Yes, when, what time, what floor, let's go." I was just so incredibly excited and honoured. But I definitely think at that young age, I was 11 when I started, and I really think that Matilda shaped me into the person that I am today, because that is such a crucial learning age, and being around such an amazing cast and such an amazing crew and the most amazing people, it really shaped who I am today. And I will definitely say that whenever anybody says to me like, "Oh, you're quite mature for your age," I put it 100% down to Matilda, because it is that thing of, it is supposed to be so much fun, and of course it is so much fun, but at the same time it is a job and you are working and there is that little bit of pressure. But I think 11-year-old me just recognized, like, I can have as much fun, but I've got a job to do. So, and I had a great time doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is that, we experienced it together, and we are encouraged to work as a team. So there is no condescension from the adult performers to the young performers. We're all the same, and also I know we had a lot of fun, and obviously we had the amazing Craig, who was our Miss Trunchbull, who was just a dreamboat. So yeah, loved him. I hope he's watching in Lithuania. Right, so second question is, can you tell us about the audition process? I'm afraid it's another audition story, but this is for Artemis Fowl. And then what was it like when you found out you got the job for that? Because obviously that was a massive Disney movie. So what was the story with that?
Oh my God, like that, like Matilda, it was just the most surreal experience, even when the audition came through, of just being put up to audition for a Disney film. Like, I was looking at it and I was like, I get to audition for a Disney, like, that was my thought. I was like, I'm auditioning for a Disney film. And I recognised the name Artemis Fowl because I actually loved, they're based on these amazing series of books by Owen Colfer. And I had read the books growing up. They were part of my childhood. And the part I was auditioning for was a character that I loved and had grown up with. So I remember walking into the audition room and I just had the most fun with it because of how much I love the character. And then I was told that they wanted to see me again. And I flew over to London where I met Sir Kenneth Branagh for the first time. And I completely just went utterly, completely speechless at just the sight of him because he's amazing. And did the audition, and then we were told that they wanted to see me for a screen test. And my mum and I were like, a screen test? What's a screen test? And we went over to London again, and I got to put on like a mock version of the costume. I got to put on elf ears, and I got to walk around like a little like makeup set. And just that experience of getting to do that, I'd never done anything of this caliber before, and getting to do that was the most amazing experience that I could have asked for. And then to hear they wanted to see me again and to go over again, like it was like that, the same with Matilda. Every time I was like, oh my God, like what is happening? And we did the last screen test and we were told, you're not going to hear for a while because we have to go back and it's to go through so many people and everything. We're like, okay. And I, again, like Matilda, just at the back of my head was like, look, amazing experience to get to meet and be directed by Sir Kenneth Branagh, get to the final rounds of a Disney film and get to meet the most amazing people. And I'd never done a screen test before, so if anything, I'm walking away with all that experience, which most people can barely dream of getting. So I was so incredibly thankful and grateful for that experience, and came home and genuinely was like, that's it, all done, never gonna hear about that again. And then on the 9th of December, I was coming back from a drama class, and I came home and my mum was like, I need to talk to you. And I immediately said, oh God, what have I done? Am I in trouble? She was like, no, just come in, sit down. And my mum will say that I just wouldn't stop talking, which I think, which nothing new, but she was just sitting there waiting to tell me. And she took out a little shopping bag, and in it she had a shooting star decoration, which, because it was nearly Christmas, and she went, you're going to be Holly. And I didn't process it for a minute, and I was like, huh? What? She went, you got the part, you're going to be Holly. And I just, again, burst into tears, like could not fathom it, to the point where I repeatedly said to my mum, you're lying to me, you're lying. And she will say, what kind of mother do you think I am that you thought I was lying to you about that? But yeah, it was just that insane whirlwind of an experience. And then to actually get to play a character that you've grown up with in a Disney film, I mean, it's still very surreal to me, like the fact that has happened and that it's out there for people to see and that I got to do that. It's still surreal. It never settles in.
Yeah, I mean, I love that story. And your mum, Hazel, she's had to tell you you've got so many jobs. Thank you, Hazel.
I know, God help her.
Oh, I know, she's a legend. But yeah, that is phenomenal. Okay, and also, if you haven't seen it, it is still on Disney Plus, Artemis Fowl. You can see Lara starring as Captain Holly Shaw. Okay, so our third and final question is, what do you think are the main differences between working on the West End stage and the silver screen and in the films?
It's definitely, they're two completely separate things. Like, I think the only thing that kind of bonds them is the acting, because the crew, the setup, everything is completely different. Like, for example, when you're on stage, you know, it is that thing of what happens, and you just have to roll with it no matter what comes your way. But on film, you do get that thing of like, you know, you get a few chances to do it and, you know, it's okay. And the atmosphere is completely different. Of you have an entire audience sitting in front of you while you're performing, while on film, there is that anticipation of, I always think in theatre, when you do something, when you perform, there's this build up because you're having the time of your life and you're performing and you're doing what you love. And then you finish and then it's done. But in film and TV, you have this amazing build-up of working and filming with all these amazing people and you're loving it. And then, you know, you're done. But there's still that little, like, buzz of energy because nobody else has seen it yet. You haven't seen it yet. None of the world has seen it yet. And so you wait for however long, and then this energy just comes surging back of everybody else gets to see the work that you've done now. And yeah, getting to do both, I could never pick a favorite because they're both so different. I love them both so much. And so getting to work in both has been like such a pleasure and such an honor for me.
Oh, I love it. It's amazing. It's amazing. And just to see, obviously, when we saw you at the start of Matilda and just know how talented you were, you just deserve all of this. Now tell me, a little birdie says that there's a project you've been working on. Are you allowed to tell us anything about it?
There is, Ollie. I am allowed to tell you about it. So currently I have 2 upcoming projects, which is really cool to say. So I worked with Sir Kenneth Branagh again, which, oh my God, wow, such a crazy thing to be able to say, on a film called Belfast, which will be released on November 12th, so I'm very excited about that. And also I just finished filming a Channel 5 TV series in Malta, which should be released in the later autumn, and I am very excited for that. It's called The Holiday, and yeah, I'm very excited.
I am excited as well. I love it, honestly. Oh, and it's been so good chatting, but listen, that's enough chatting. It is time to hear you sing. So, without further ado, Lara McDonnell, it's over to you. Mwah.
Thank you very much, Ollie. So today, I am going to be singing Popular from the musical Wicked. I love Wicked. It was one of the first musicals I ever saw. And to prove how much I love it, I have seen it 10 times. So, no pressure on me or anything. But if I mess this up, I'm a really fake fan. And just to show how at home this is, I have an ad playing. So we're gonna wait it out. And now with that car ad done, I shall sing a bit. Whenever I see someone less fortunate than I, and let's face it, who isn't less fortunate than I, my tender heart tends to start to bleed. And when someone needs a makeover, I simply have to take over. I know exactly what they need. And even in your case, though it's the toughest case I've yet to face, don't worry, I'm determined to succeed. Follow my lead, and yes, indeed, you will be popular. You're gonna be popular. I'll teach you the proper ploys when you talk to boys, little ways to flirt and flaunt. Oh, I'll show you what shoes to wear, how to fix your hair, everything that really counts to be popular. I'll help you be popular. You'll hang with the right cohorts. You'll be good at sports. Know the slang you've got to know. So let's start, 'cause you've got an awfully long way to go. Don't be offended by my frank analysis. Think of it as personality dialysis. Now that I've chosen to become a palisade or an advisor, there's nobody wiser. Not when it comes to popular. I know about popular, and with an assist from me to be who you'll be instead of dreary who you were, well, are. There's nothing that can stop you from becoming popular. La, 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 la. We're gonna make you popular. When I see depressing creatures with unprepossessing features, I remind them on their own behalf to think of celebrated heads of state or specially great communicators. Did they have brains or knowledge? Don't make me laugh. They were popular. Please, it's all about popular. It's not about altitude, it's the way you're viewed. So it's very shrewd to be very, very popular, like me. And though you protest your disinterest, I know clandestinely you're gonna grin and bear it, and you found popularity. La 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 la, you'll be popular, just not quite as popular as me. You're too kind. You're too kind. So the next song that I'm going to be singing is She Used to Be Mine from the musical Waitress. And this was actually the last live West End show that I have got to see. It was the last show I have seen since 2019. So I thought I'd pay homage to that because we are almost out of it. So let's go. It's not simple to say that most days I don't recognize me. These shoes and this apron, that place and its patrons have taken more than I gave them. It's not easy to know I'm not anything I used to be, although it's true I was never attention's sweet center, but I still remember that girl. She's imperfect, but she tries. She is good, but she lies. She is hard on herself. She is broken and won't ask for help. She is messy, but she's kind. She is lonely most of the time. She is all of this mix-up and baked in a beautiful pie. She is gone, but she used to be mine. And it's not what I asked for. Sometimes life just slips in through a back door and carves out a person and makes you believe it's all true. And now I've got you, and you're not what I asked for. If I'm honest, I know I would give it all back for a chance to start over and rewrite an ending or two. For the girl that I knew who'd be reckless just enough, who'll get hurt, but who learns how to toughen up when she's bruised and gets used by a man who can't love. And then she'll get stuck and be scared of the life that's inside her, growing stronger each day, till it finally reminds her to fight just a little, to bring back the fire in her eyes. It's been gone, but used to be mine. She is lonely most of the time. She is all of this mixed up and baked in a beautiful pie. She is gone, but she used to be mine.
Amazing, amazing. Oh, Lara, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Honestly, that was just fantastic. It's just so lovely to see that you're still a phenomenal actress. But also, I just love having a catch up with you.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, but Lara, honestly, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Lara McDonnell. Mwah! See you later. See you soon. Take care, and I shall be watching those upcoming projects. All right, ladies and gents. So that was a fabulous Lara McDonnell. Oh, yes.